Girl.
Hello.
Well, how are you doing today? Is today a good day for you? We always like to check in and just see how we're doing.
Today is a good day. I got to do some things for myself today, so it's a good day. How about you? How are you?
It actually is a really, really great day. Yeah, I'm so excited about it. Like, seriously, when you have a good day, don't take it for granted.
I don't, and I stay in that moment because it's like, oh my gosh. Girl, do we have company?
We have company today.
Oh my goodness.
How are y'all doing today? We pray that it's been a good day for you. And if not, we're so grateful that there is always a tomorrow, right?
So why are we here?
Welcome to our first episode of our podcast.
Hey.
What's the name? What was that? What sign? What's that?
I'm millennial, so I'm throwing up peace signs.
Okay.
They're like, you in the gang? Yes.
I wasn't sure. I just seen it from my video and I was a little nervous. But now that I know it's peace, you're just a part of the millennial gang.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So what is this podcast? What's the name of this podcast?
Time in, time out, guys.
Time in, time out.
Tuned into Time In, Time Out podcast with Kiana and Kina.
Or Kina and Kiana. My name is Kina.
I'm Kiana.
So we came up with the name Time In, Time Out. I guess as we are getting older, we were starting to be more mindful of this concept of time, right? We know time consists of the past, the present, and the future. And I don't know about you, but I found as I was getting older, I was starting to have some anxiety about this concept of time and what I'm doing with this time and what my future is going to look like. And so for me, I just wanted to take some moments, didn't want to say time, I wanted to take some moments and really think about what I was doing with that time. And I wanted to make sure that I was very intentional with the time that I'm spending because I don't know what the future is, but I know I just have today.
Right.
And with these todays that I have, I want to make sure that I'm not just doing a bunch of stuff for other people, but I'm also pouring into myself.
So what does that look like? Is that the time out?
That's the time out. So talk a little bit about that.
So time in, time out. So like you said, the day to day, being intentional about your time and how you spend it. So now we're timing out. This is for us.
We are timing out.
Yeah,
this is a great moment for us to just let our hair down.
Yeah.
Have a little fun.
Just a little bit, right? We deserve fun.
We deserve fun. We're so used to being timed in
for
all the time for everyone and for everything. So being intentional about our time out, it is crucial. It is critical. And I think it's something that God wants for us as well, right? Even if you think about the commandment, like to love your neighbor as yourself. Sometimes we love our neighbors more than we even love ourselves. And we're not doing that anymore.
All right. What do they say? You can't pour from an empty cup.
Absolutely.
You gotta keep pouring into yourself. Take that time out.
Absolutely.
Get that refresh, right?
Absolutely.
Let's bounce back so we can be ready to time back in.
Period. Because we got to time in. We love to time in. But baby, we going to take some time
Coach, take me out, right?
Period.
Take me out. How did we get here?
Okay.
You and I, this combination, what is this?
I think you tell it better.
So our friendship didn't start organically. I joined her church.
Yeah.
She's a first lady, guys.
Okay. All right. Sure. Yeah.
And then it happened to be like, oh my gosh, I saw you at my kid's school.
Yeah.
Oh, our kids go to school together.
Yeah.
Both the kids. And it's like, I'm seeing you in ShopRite. I'm seeing you here and there. So then it's just natural progression of us just getting to know each other. And here we are.
Here we are. So like she said, just having like small conversations. Like you said, seeing each other in random places. And then those conversations that generally would last, you would think would last for just a couple of minutes turned into
hours.
hours and us talking about everything. And you said it wasn't organic. I think it was actually incredibly organic. It wasn't it wasn't intentional, right?
Okay, yes.
Right. So it wasn't intentional where I sought out a friendship with her. Right. Not that I would never do that. Or she wasn't trying to be my friend, but it was something that naturally happened just because we had commonalities, like you said.
We have so much in common, guys. Like, she has a twin sister, but it's like, girl.
I know, it's crazy. And so many people say that. So if some people hear it, they'll be like, there are so many people who call themselves our triplets. It's so funny. It's so funny. So cool. Yes, but one of the greatest things that I love about us when we connect is like we have a great time.
We do. Like, I feel so full. Like,
seriously.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy. Like, yay.
Seriously. So it's not about, we're not putting on for each other.
Not at all.
Ever. You know what I mean?
Real, we get deep, we get raw.
And we can talk about everything.
Sometimes it's TMI.
It is.
But it's good. I love it.
I think so.
Because we're comfortable with each other. I trust you. Like,
and then it kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? It kind of normalizes like some of the things that are TMI that you don't want to share because it's kind of weird and it's kind of awkward. But then you realize, bro, we all experience it. Right. So yes, it's TMI for some like platforms and some environments. But if it's just you and your girl, like, why are you not talking about this?
That's it. So this is our timeout. This is our two girlfriends coming together, kikiing, having a good time, catching up on life that doesn't talk about everything else, just us. You know what I mean? So come take a time out with us.
Come take a time out with us and start to discover what time out looks like for you. Sometimes this might not be a timeout for us, right? Sometimes she'll hit me up and be like, it's not the time. You know what I mean? Like, this is not the time.
Because you want it to be enjoyable, right?
Absolutely.
It should not feel like a chore. It shouldn't feel like a burden. It should be fun. Something we're looking forward to.
Absolutely. Yes. Oh, I just had a thought, but we're not going to talk about that right now. We'll save it for another time.
We're going to talk about a lot of things.
We're going to talk about a lot of things. But like I said, I want you all to begin to think about different things that you can do to time out.
So what does a timeout look like? Can you give us some examples?
Sure. So a timeout could look like going for a walk. A timeout could look
that's
like
actually really good. Mm-hmm.
A timeout could look like spending time with friends or with families. It could look like working out. Right. It could look like going to a worship service.
So a timeout doesn't necessarily have to be solitude. Right?
Absolutely.
It can be community, it can be with others, or it can be by yourself.
Right? Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's something that you do for yourself that makes you feel
happy,
good.
And that makes you
That makes you feel full. That makes you feel satisfied.
Joyful, right?
Absolutely.
So reading a book, going in your car, listening to music, working out, like you said, all the things.
Yeah. Or it could be by being by yourself, right?
It's good to be alone.
Yeah, and I think it depends on what you might need in that particular season, right? So are there times when you leaned more into time outs by yourself opposed to...
Absolutely. Sometimes I just want silence. Yeah. Sometimes I drive with silence. Sometimes I'm home. I don't even turn on the TV. It's me and my thoughts. Yeah. And those thoughts are so loud. It's like, wow. Yeah. So it depends. Like you said, it's a season. So sometimes it's quiet. But sometimes I'm like, you know what? I want a good girls' night. I want a good, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I want to hang with my girls. Yeah. It's like, the older you get, you don't get those moments. So when we get together, I cherish them because...
It's like being kids all over again.
What?
And it just feels so good. And I also wanted to say, like, sometimes, if I'm honest, I don't feel like taking the time out. Sometimes. Or sometimes I'm so exhausted from timing in. It feels like a chore to actually take a time out.
So if that girlfriend canceled dinner, sometimes you like relieved, right?
I'd be relieved, but I'm really learning, even sometimes when I don't feel like, which seems opposite to what I just said, even when I don't feel like it sometimes, I'm pushing myself to do it because once I get there, I'm so happy that I did it.
It's like doing that workout you don't feel like doing.
Seriously. When do you ever regret a workout?
Never. You're like, I am so happy I did that. And you feel better.
And
so sometimes you have to be intentional about pushing yourself to take that time out.
I would say, at least for myself, almost all the times, I have to be very intentional. Yeah. And I have been saying to myself recently, if I wouldn't cancel the for anyone else, right? If I'm timing in for everyone else, whether I feel like it or whether I don't, if I'm showing up for them, why am I going to not show up for myself? And that's what the time outs are. They are showing up for myself.
It's vital.
It's vital.
It's vital.
Why would you say it's vital?
First of all, we're in a world where there's so much going on.
Yeah.
Right? So it can feel so heavy at times. Yes. So to make it light, you got to step away and shut out the noise, right? Yes. And bring something that's going to bring some type of enjoyment where you forget about all that stuff. Because then when you time back in, it's going to be loud again, right?
Girl, so, you almost don't even want to cry. Like when you talk about, because it's so real. Like it hit so hard. And I've also noticed that when I'm not taking the time out, I don't even enjoy the time ends anymore. It's like a chore. It's a chore. What I would normally find joy in, I feel like get somebody else to do it. I'm still doing it. It's almost like you just digging yourself in a deeper hole, and it's just going to be so hard to get out of it. So it's like, nope. Be intentional. Let me take it. So it's just discipline, right? Oh, so we gotta be disciplined even for our time outs.
Period.
Why not?
You have to.
Oh my goodness, that's so
because
true.
What do they say? If you don't stop, your body's gonna stop.
It is. It is.
Somebody's.
And guess what? And if your body don't stop, then your mind's going to stop. Then your spirit's going to stop. Then your attitude's going to stop. Like something is going to be affected because you're deciding to run, go, and never take the time to pour back into yourself.
And then you get into a routine. Yeah. And a habit, right? Yeah. What does it say? 13 days to make or break a habit.
You better go.
Which is wild because that's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks of not doing something, now you're so used to.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do I get back? And it's harder to get back, right?
It's very true.
It's so hard. So you have to be consistent and have a routine, right?
Have a routine.
Have it built in your schedule.
Yeah.
A non-negotiable. Right? Good. So put it in your schedule. You got everything else in your schedule. So put an alarm, a schedule, timeout.
Yeah.
It could be 5 minutes, guys. Yeah. It doesn't even have to be long. Yeah. Start at 5 minutes. The next week, 10. Yeah. And increase. It's true. I know people who take a whole day.
Yeah.
Which that's a luxury. Like it really is, because I can't do that in my life right now. But that's a goal that I would love to strive for, where it's like this day, you know that.
Yeah.
Don't even, that's her day.
Yeah.
No. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big deal.
It's true.
So we have to start, and we all can do it. It doesn't have to cost money. It can be something you have right now. Like, you don't need much for a timeout.
I had two thoughts in mind as you were talking. So, like, the first one you just spoke to in regards to, like, how often should one take a timeout? And I think it doesn't have to be a grand thing. Like you said, like going out with someone or going to spend money. If it's taking 5 minutes to go for a walk. If it's taking, 15 minutes to pick up a book, if it's picking up the phone, and having a conversation, you know what I mean? So I don't think I'm a big, proponent of not living your life waiting for weekends. Like, that's wild. Oh my gosh,
you'll be waiting for Friday.
That's
Friday,
wild.
All this time has passed you by. So Monday through Thursday, don't
what was that? That's crazy. Wow. I do not believe that God intends us to live our life like that.
So excited for Friday.
Which I understand, be excited, but don't dread the Monday, Tuesday. You need to change something in your life. You need to alter
days
something.
At work, take a day off of work.
Period.
The work will get done.
Yeah.
So we have days for a reason, right? Why are you holding on to them? Take a mental health day.
Take a mental health day. A lot of companies are doing that now.
Yeah, but do it for yourself. Why wait?
Do it for yourself.
On a random Wednesday.
Absolutely.
Leave early. Take a half a day.
Yeah.
You might feel like, what do you have plans? You going to the doctor? No. Isn't that crazy?
It's not. It's crazy, but what's worse than it's crazy is it's so true.
Yeah.
It is so true. I was just talking to someone last week and they were like, they're off. And I was like, well, what you got to do? Because, baby, we don't take time off.
So it's unusual.
It's so unusual. Yes. And I'm like, I don't want to be like that anymore.
You know what's crazy?
What?
My daughter, she's like, Mommy, I need to have 2 mental health days for school.
Yeah.
And when she said it, at first I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But then I was like, why not?
Yeah.
I get days off of work.
Yeah.
She should get days off of school that's outside of a holiday.
We give our children too.
But I like that.
Reason.
But when she said it, I'm like, that's actually a good idea. There should be a day where you just don't feel like doing anything. And you have that right. Because if I want to do it.
Yeah.
And for a kid to talk about mental health, that's big. So
it's huge. Yeah. It's huge.
They need timeouts too.
They need
timeouts. We put children in timeout, right?
It's true.
Because if they're acting up or acting crazy.
You need a break.
Put me
you
in
need to get yourself together. Seriously. And they don't want to be in timeout. We're begging somebody.
Begging for somebody to put me in timeout.
I think it's also important you said, you brought up your daughter and her talking about how she needs breaks. I think we also need to teach the generation that is coming after us how to take care of oneself.
Period. Because burnout is real. And we've seen people in our lives burn out. And we can tell, like, being strong,
that is what is that?
I don't want to be strong. Yeah, I want this soft life, honey. Like,
do you feel like you've ever been like the strong friend,
where you're just trying to internalize everyone else's problems, your own, and it's like, yo, I'm a break.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's not even normal, and
it's not normal. Yeah. It's not admirable. It's not healthy. It's not something
you should desire to be a strong one. No,
it's not realistic anyway, right?
It's not healthy.
It's not
healthy because your body's going to tell on itself. It's going to be stress, anxiety, lack of sleep, like all the things, right? Like
absolutely. So we are having these conversations. We are trying to be an example for ourselves. We are trying to even hold each other accountable, right? Because we feel like it's something important.
And just to open up the conversation where people, we give permission. Guys, this is your sign.
Wow.
Take a time out. Like, maybe if you haven't heard, nobody told you to stop. I'm telling you to slow down.
How about giving people that permission?
Yes,
like when someone say, I don't have it, how about us not applying pressure and trying to make them give you something that they don't have and say, sis, I get it. I get it. Take the time out. You can't come today.
That's okay.
It's okay. You don't even got to tell me why.
Are you good at saying no?
Am I good at?
Yeah.
I've gotten better.
I'm learning.
I've gotten a lot better.
Because you feel like somebody asks you something that you have to do it.
Yeah.
It's like you really don't.
Yeah. And
it's not.
You really don't.
And it's not a bad thing.
No, yeah,
right?
you have to get better.
I'm getting it. Or just saying that doesn't work for me. How about this? Or trying to just. I don't know, but that's the thing that we
that's good. That's good.
We'll put so much on our plate, right? Yeah. And then it's like, all of a sudden we're overwhelmed, and it's like,
for what?
Why am I feeling guilty? It's like, I set myself up for that.
And sometimes people, it don't even matter that much to people.
It really does. You know what I mean? But I'm like, people tell me no all the time.
Yeah, it's true.
Which is fine, but it's like, why can't I do that? So
you can.
I'm learning. I can.
Right?
We don't have choices.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's one more thing I wanted to talk about, and that is, like when you talk about our timeouts could be with people, right? Mm-hmm. Another thing that you and I have talked about in previous conversations is as adults putting ourselves out there to make new connections, right? Yeah. So some people might be listening to this and saying like, well, I don't have a community to do timeout with, like, or I don't have anything to do.
There's a network there's tree huggers, guys. Like, you can go hug trees. Like, there's a group for anything.
Okay, so make that make sense. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, make that make sense.
How to find a community. Like, I found my community in a local church. Like, you can find, even kids will draw you to other parents, right? If you're at a sporting event, club, and talking to other parents there. What do you think?
Great. I think, like, for me, you know how, like, girls, when you are, well,
you say girl.
Okay. So I feel like, cause what I'm about to say could be controversial and maybe something. Okay, say if you're interested in a guy, right?
Yeah.
There are some women out there who will put themselves out there and go and say, hey, I'm interested in you. You might not be that type of girl. I'm not that type of girl, but there are other ways to tell a guy that you're interested in him without opening your mouth, right? It could be eye contact. Okay. I'm married, so I'm putting y'all on game if y'all want to know, okay? So it could be giving eye contact, right? Yeah. That could let a guy know that you're interested in him. It could be asking him questions, you know what I mean? So I'm saying apply those same things if you're interested in trying to build a community with like other girls.
Or just like your
Well, no, you could be more direct with other girls. You don't gotta be looking at me all the way with the eyes.
They gonna be walking away.
No, don't do that, right? With men, we might have to be a little bit more, careful if that is your theology that you don't want to approach a man. But with like girls, if you see somebody who you're like, yo, they're cool,
right?
Try to talk to them.
Like a workout class. I started doing like this hip hop class, and it's like everyone's so friendly. And after the class, you talking, so you guys that way and things like that.
People, I definitely, I'm a person. I will put myself out there if I think you're cool, if I think you're interested. And people have done that to me too. I've been at the gym working out with somebody, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, like you come here all the time. Tell me a little bit about yourself."
And that's another accountability too, because like now I want to see
Right. So it's like exchanging numbers. Okay, we got things in common. And so there are different ways to build community. Put yourself out there. Exactly.
And then you'll be timing out more.
Right. Exactly.
It's so good. We have to time out.
We have to time out.
So what does it look like when you have to time back in? Like, do you feel ready? Mm-hmm. Do you feel like more prepared or what?
No. If you constantly feel like, then again, you have to change something.
Maybe your timeout's not long enough, or maybe it's not a real timeout.
Or maybe what your time in is really needs to be adjusted and changed.
That too.
You know what I mean? That's just the reality. If you're doing something that maybe God is not calling you to do, if you're in a relationship that God is calling you not to be in, if you are in an environment, if you are, you know what I mean? Like, maybe you have to make an adjustment.
Right.
But for me, when it's time to tie back in, I'm like, baby,
let's go.
Ready. I'm ready. I love being here. This is what I was called to do. I was called to be your wife. I was called to be your mom. I was called to be your whatever it is, whether it's your sister, your friend, your first lady, whatever it is, because I have now taken the time to tend to myself. And so, baby, all day long, I can do the other stuff that I do love to do.
Because now it's like I'm going to do it well. Oh, so do you have a routine? Let's talk about this. Do you have a routine? What does your mornings look like? How do you stay organized so that when your time out, it's not looking all crazy?
Sure. And because you have to have time. You have to make time for it. And so I think we've talked about this before, and I was saying how I read a while ago that a great morning routine starts with a great night routine. So trying to do better with structuring how I'm rested. Because when I'm exhausted, I don't want to time in or time out. You know what I mean?
You just spent.
So going to bed at a decent time. Speaking of that, have you seen the new rings that are out? It's
I saw that.
Yeah.
It's like a smart ring.
It's a smart ring that replaces the Fitbits, the Apple Watches.
I can't keep
up with it monitors how much you're sleeping. It monitors the time you have in
That's
REM.
Wild.
It's awesome, but it lets you know if your mood might be off. Take it slow today. Wow. I'm going to look into it.
So that's like somebody checking you.
It literally is. Anyway, so I feel like making sure that I'm rested is very important and imperative for me to be able to time in and time out. And making sure that I'm responsible during my time ins. If I'm not responsible during my time ins, then do I deserve a time out?
Making sure it's productive and that we're not wasting time.
True, because then I feel guilty when I'm timed out. If I'm not
still got stuff, that's
And we've been there before in timeout. I gotta go.
Right.
It causes chaos. Right. I can't neglect what I'm supposed to do in my time ins for a timeout. That's irresponsible.
It's almost we don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Which I mean, you really don't.
Yeah.
You got stuff to do. So be responsible while you're timed in.
Yeah.
Your time out. You don't feel no guilt, no shame, and that is really restful or whatever it looks like.
That's a word for some of y'all too. No, for real. That's a word for some of you guys too. Y'all gotta make sure that you guys are timing in well, that you're productive, that you're showing up as best as you can. Because what we're not doing is wasting any of the time that God has given us. You know what I mean? So be a good steward of the time that God has given you during those time ends.
Amen. That was a whole word.
It was a word. I felt that in my spirit. I absolutely did.
Wow.
Do you think we said enough about our intro first podcast? Do you guys have a great understanding?
They are ready for all the things. What are we going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about friendship, fashion, faith, literally all the things. If you don't realize right now, we are both Christian women, and it's going to be
in every conversation.
In every conversation, because that's just life, right?
Yeah, that's just who we are.
We are so excited. We love to hear some feedback from you. What you guys want to talk about? Let us know.
Absolutely.
But we want to build community with y'all. Let's time out together.
Let's time out together. This can be a time. Maybe this is a time out for you.
Sometimes your time out. And we appreciate you coming in.
Absolutely.
And joining in.
How often will they catch us?
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
You better
say that with your chest. Say it with your chest.
Every 2 weeks, we will be dropping an episode. So
absolutely.
Stay tuned, guys.
Stay tuned. We cannot wait to time out with you guys again. But thank you so much for joining us for our first episode of our...
Until next time, Melinda.
Until next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.